Hey guys, we've been getting a lot of questions about the team series that we're releasing this year. So we wanted to address those questions and make sure that you understand exactly what we're going to be doing this year and go over each detail. So Pat, what exactly is the team series?
Alright guys, the team series is 4 events. Each one of those events is a 4-person team event. For each one of the events, you're going to be competing it with 2 men and 2 women for said event. Each event can be competed as its own standalone event. So if you guys want to get a team together and compete as a 4-person team in just one event, that's great. Each event will have its own prizes, its own workouts, its own scoreboard, and everything. But if you want to compete in the series, you would participate in all 4 of the events. We'll take your scores from every single event, put them all onto one single leaderboard, and we're going to have a grand prize at the end that is set up for the teams that are in the series.
So what constitutes a team?
So, a team for an individual event, 2 men, 2 women. A team for the series, though, you must use the same roster. What we're defining as a roster is 3 men and 3 women. Now, what this really means is not that you get a sub or alternate at each one of the events, but what this allows is if one person has a wedding on a Saturday or something that they just can't avoid and can't compete in one of the events, you do have someone that can stand in. So now, if Nick and I are on a team, we would have one other guy that potentially could be used. So Nick's sister's getting married in June and he can't compete at one of these things. We use our friend, he stands in for that event. Each event will be competed as 2 men and 2 women. What this does is it allows that you cannot use a specialist to come in for a particular workout in an event, but as long as you use the same roster of 3 men and 3 women across the entire 4 events, that will be considered a roster.
So with the roster, do I have to set my 6 people before the first event, or can we add on later?
No, you can add on later. So again, if you guys get into this thing and say, hey, it's Nick and I and Sue and Jamie, we will run as far as we can, and now all of a sudden, let's say Nick gets injured before the 3rd event. At that point, we do have the option of bringing a 3rd guy in, and he is now the only 3rd guy that we can use. So we've used the 3rd guy on the 3rd event. We could potentially use him on the 4th, but those 3 names are the only 3 names of males that can be used.
So you brought up a good point with the injuries. What happens if I have 2 of my male athletes get injured throughout the season out of my 3?
So the deal on injuries, guys, injuries are part of sport. You got to be able to manage them. And we're not going to really be making any exceptions here for injuries along the way, outside of the 3 men and 3 women names that can be on your roster. You guys got to be able to manage your injuries as part of this thing.
So for the team, do we have to compete under one name the entire season? How do names work?
Yeah. Once you have your team name set, you're going to compete with that team name across all 4 events if you're competing in the series. Now, if you're just competing in individual events and you wind up wanting to do 2 out of the 4, change your team name all you want. But if you're part of the series, same team name across the board.
Okay. And so there's 4 events over 6 months. What are the 4 events?
So the 4 events are Sweat and Steel. This one's coming up first. It's going to be on the 5th of June. It's in downtown Rochester at CrossFit Deviate. The 2nd event, Brawl at the Raw. This is on August 6th. It's hosted by CrossFit Raw Intensity. 3rd event, Dazed and Unfazed. This is back in Troy, Michigan at CrossFit Unfazed, and this is on October 8th. And the final event in the team series is the Pure Michigan. It's being hosted by CrossFit Maven, and that one is going to take place in November, on November 12th.
So 4 events, and there's a total prize purse at the end, as well as prizes during. Can you explain a little bit more in detail how the prize money works?
For sure, on the prizes. As I said earlier, you can compete at each one of these events as its own separate event. Each event is going to have its own prizes. So if you win an individual event, if you win one of the events, $400 goes to first place, and $250 goes to second place. Third place is going to get their podium medals. Now, at the end of the series, we have the grand prizes. The grand prizes are $1,600 for first place, $600 for second, and $300 for third place.
So Pat, you talked about the prize money over the 4 events. Is that combinable? How does that work?
Yes. So, like I said, 4 individual events. Each one will have its own set of prizes, and there's the grand prize at the end. So let's take the example that a team signs up. They're just a super team. They wind up winning every single event and then wind up winning the grand prize at the end. As I said, each event has a $400 prize to going to first place. They would get $1,600 for their 4 individual wins. They would also get an additional $1,600 for their grand prize win of winning the competition, or winning the series. So, again, divvy that up however you want, but again, if you were to take a first in one, a second in another, and then winds up getting third overall in the team series, that's going to be $400 plus $250 plus $300. So again, the money you win in individual events is going to go to you guys, as well as if you do place in the team series, that prize money comes to you as well.
So how many teams will we be competing against? How many per event?
So we will be working with a max number of teams that we're going to allow into each event, and that number is 36. So 36 4-person teams are allowed into each event, and each event is going to be open on a first-come, first-served basis. So if you want to sign up for the team series, meaning you're going to sign up for all 4 events, you got to be able to get in and reserve your spot when we still have open registration. That being said, we've actually never had an event until this year fill up faster than 2 weeks. So there should be ample time for you guys to get into an event that you want to get into. But again, signing up for the event is your responsibility, not ours to make a spot for you.
Okay, so 4 events, 36 teams per event. Does my team, do we all have to be from the same gym?
No. You guys can make super teams, get your buddies involved from other gyms. This is just have a good time, compete with who you want to compete with. Nick and I don't go to the same gym. We can be on a team together. It doesn't matter. The big thing is, if you're competing in one event only, 2 men, 2 women. If you're going to compete in the series, your roster can have no more than 3 male names, 3 female names.
Okay, so what about different divisions and scaling?
So, much like all of our events, we do allow scaling. If you scale, you're no longer eligible for the podium. So, for the purposes of each individual event, scaling is great. If you're going to sign up for doing Brawl at the Raw, great. Sign up. If you've got a scaling event, no big deal. We encourage scaling. If you're going to compete for the big prize money, scaling is not allowed.
And then one division all the way across, or will there be separate divisions?
This is going to be one division all the way across.
Okay. And then what about, what's the cost per team?
So, our registration platform has changed this year a little bit. When you guys go to sign up for an event, the first person to sign up will create your group. Group is really your team name. Once the team name has been created, then each partner on the team, when they sign up, notice everybody signs up individually, when they go to sign up, they'll pay their fee and join your team. So, I'm going to create a team, it's going to be Lex Artis. The password for that team will be Lex Artis. I tell Nick, hey, I created our team, here's our password. He goes and signs up. The cost per person for this one is $63.99. Now, if you know, hands down, we're doing the team series, we're definitely going to do this, we want to sign up all right now, contact me at pat@lex-artis.net, and I will do a 10% reduction in fee, but you're going to have to pay all up front.
So there you have it, guys, the 2016 Team Series. 4 events over 6 months, Sweat and Steel, Brawl at the Raw, Dazed and Unfazed, and Pure Michigan. Get your team set now, get registered. We're looking forward to seeing you in a few months.